Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, Texas lawmakers have agreed on a historic property tax cut deal. And a high-stakes NATO summit takes place amid the Ukrainian-Russian war. And in North Carolina, a new bill will require ICE officials and sheriffs to work together against illegal immigration.
Well, for us here in the Crossroads and for most of the southern half of the country, there it is, folks. 99 was your high today. We'll be hovering around there for about 2 weeks. So we have to learn how to deal with the heat, and we'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
And I think I sound like a broken record, but honestly, I don't care. The Generals are on fire and have won 12 in a row. That and more in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. After weeks of debate, the Texas House and Senate both agreed in principle on an $18 billion plan that will deliver, quote, the biggest property tax cut in Texas history, unquote. Here are some of the highlights of the tax. Over $12 billion will be spent on reducing the school property tax rate for all homeowners and business properties. Every homeowner who homesteads their home will get a $100,000 homestead exemption. Non-homestead properties valued at $5 million and under, including residential and commercial properties, will receive a 20% circuit breaker on appraised values as a 3-year project pilot. The legislation will also include savings on the franchise tax for small businesses and create newly elected positions, on local appraisal boards. And so this brings us to your viewer poll. Scan the QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, do you think the deal reached by the Texas House and Senate for property tax cuts is a good one? Yes or no? Well, according to these results, 65% say yes and 15% stand at no. We want to keep on hearing your opinion on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News now at 10. The city of Victoria has entered stage 2 of its water contingency plan. All residents are required to limit non-essential water usage during the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 8 p.m. to midnight. The city of Victoria says the city has been in stage 1 of the plan since April, when it was triggered with the Guadalupe River fell below its normal water levels. For a full list of the water restrictions, check out the article on crossroadstoday.com. And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez, who tells us the coming days are going to be pretty heavy.
Pretty heavy, not only for us, but for much of the southern half of the United States. This is a national heat wave, and this is a long-term heat wave because we got about 2 weeks of this. Now, these are the observed highs today, 99 for us, 96 in Houston, 102 in San Antonio, and all this is going to go coast to coast from California to Florida. Everyone's going to be in the heat for the next couple of weeks. So we'll be talking more about that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. President Joe Biden is in Lithuania kicking off a 2-day NATO summit. This as high-stakes issues facing the alliance Tuesday center on Ukraine's potential pathway to NATO membership and more global aid to Ukraine as its war with Russia continues.
Behind the arrival smiles and handshakes, a high-stakes agenda is unfolding for the U.S. and fellow NATO countries Tuesday. President Joe Biden met with Turkey's president hours after that country dropped its opposition to Sweden joining NATO, a move that's considered a victory for President Biden, who wants to showcase a strong, united NATO to the world.
Completing Sweden's accession to NATO is an historic step that benefits the security of all NATO allies at this critical time.
The marquee issue Tuesday, NATO membership for Ukraine. At a concert in the summit city, President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Lithuania, a former Soviet republic, for its courageous support of Ukraine's quest to join NATO. Meanwhile, NATO members have offered to streamline Ukraine's process for entry.
What allies have agreed today is a strong, united and positive message to Ukraine about enduring support, but also a positive message on the path forward for membership.
We agree on the language that we proposed, that you proposed, relative to the future of Ukraine being able to join NATO.
U.S. support for Ukraine's NATO membership and ongoing military aid are two topics sure to be discussed when President Biden meets one-on-one with Zelensky Wednesday. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
A SWAT team is on the scene of Caesars Palace on the Las Vegas Strip. Police say a man broke a window and started throwing out various items, including furniture. This incident started just after 9 a.m. local time when a man pulled a woman into a room by force and refused to open the door. He told officers he had a gun, which is why the SWAT team responded, but police say they have not seen any weapons.
There has been no weapons seen at this time in this event, and we don't know if there are weapons involved. It's out of precaution that the SWAT team responded.
Negotiators are in contact with the man and they say the woman is okay. We don't know if there's any connection between the two of them for now. Authorities are still looking for an escaped inmate, Michael Burham, who broke out of a Pennsylvania prison last week. Authorities say he is dangerous. They say he is a survivalist and has military training. He was jailed on arson and burglary charges and is a suspect in a murder. Court documents reveal he escaped by allegedly climbing on some workout equipment in the prison gym and exited to the roof. He then rappelled to the ground using a rope he made out of bed sheets. More than 150 police officers are currently looking for him. In North Carolina, lawmakers are trying to pass a law that will require sheriffs in the state to cooperate with federal immigration officials, or ICE, to target illegal immigration in their state.
HB 10 would force sheriffs to honor ICE detainers, a request to hold someone in custody beyond their release date without a warrant. Nayeli Garcia's brother, Jose, lived and worked in the U.S. for 12 years, half his life. But that changed 5 years ago when Jose was driving to work.
He made the stop and the other car coming and hit the car for him, and the police coming and he go to the jail. And the police get to immigration.
Garcia's brother was sent to Mexico when authorities ran his information and discovered he was undocumented. In 2018, several counties, including Wake, ended their voluntary participation in a federal program that allows local law enforcement to collaborate with ICE. But now Republican lawmakers are trying to make that cooperation mandatory. Representative Destin Hall is a sponsor for HB 10.
Sanctuary sheriffs are creating an environment where illegal aliens who have been charged with serious crimes in our state are protected from deportation and released back into our communities, where they often go on to commit new crimes.
Stefania Arteaga with the Carolina Migrant Network says Hall wants a separate legal system for non-U.S. citizens.
If somebody goes back into the community, it's because officials have determined that they're able to do so. And so that is absolutely fear-mongering.
11 sheriffs, including Wake County Sheriff Willie Rowe, have written a letter to North Carolina lawmakers saying the bill poses an administrative burden on staff. It makes counties less safe and raises Fourth Amendment concerns. But Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page supports the bill.
That anytime a person commits crimes and violates the law in your community, anytime you can remove the criminal element from the community, regardless who it is, it makes your community safer.
If the bill passes, Garcia says it will keep migrant workers away.
A lot of families, they feel scared, they feel sad, they feel stressful.
HB 10 has been sitting in the Senate Rules Committee since March. Shelley Jackson, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Bank of America, one of the nation's largest banks, will have to pay $250 million in fines and penalties for using deceptive practices. In a statement, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau said the bank charged multiple $35 overdraft fees for the same transaction, failed to properly issue rewards for credit card users, and signed up customers for accounts without consent. The bank will have to pay $90 million in fines to the Bureau and another $60 million penalty to another regulator. In addition, they will have to pay more than $80 million to customers who were unfairly charged in fees. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, a new study finds childhood cancer cases have risen. Also ahead, a Texas boy goes viral after a bullying incident on TikTok.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers, along with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office, is seeking information about a missing person. Noel Benavides Aguilar Jr. is a Hispanic male, 5'11", 160 pounds, with gray hair and brown eyes. He was last seen on Barber Drive on Thursday, June 22nd, wearing a red shirt, black shorts, and black flip-flops. Mr. Aguilar has mental health issues and did not take his medication. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Noel Benavides Aguilar Jr., please call Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to the location of Aguilar, you could earn a cash reward. With the Victoria Police Department, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Childhood cancer diagnoses have been edging up in the U.S. That's according to a study out Tuesday in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute. It uses CDC medical record data for kids up to 19 years old to show an 8% increase between 2003 and 2019. But cases are still down from a 2016 peak. The researchers say leukemia is the most common type and melanoma is declining. But experts say cancer is still relatively rare in this age group. A young Texas boy, desperate for friends, rang his neighbor's door looking for some, and now his story is going viral.
What's up, man? Hi. Shaden Walker had no idea going to this neighbor's door would change his life.
I just wanted to see if you knew any kids around like 11 or 12 maybe, because I need some friends, like really bad.
Although the Ray family doesn't have any kids Shaden's age, they posted the video to TikTok and it blew up. They also started a GoFundMe, raising nearly $40,000.
What my life was like before was kids were manipulating me and telling me that they will be my friend, but when they ask me to do something horrible, it's just, I don't feel like they're actually my friend.
Before going viral, Shaden didn't have the confidence to be himself.
He stems very hard. He flaps his arms and he makes noises that a lot of people have made fun of him. So he told me, I just deal with the pain of just holding it in so that I don't get made fun of because of it. And that hurt. That broke my heart.
But now,
my self-confidence has gone through the roof.
If you can be the one to stand out and, help somebody else, set that trend, make that the trend to be set, to not be a bully.
Shaden's mom hopes his story brings attention to an issue so many face.
He's been hospitalized because the bullying was so bad and he felt so isolated. if you see it, just advocate for that person. Just be there for that person. Do not let that person suffer.
Shaden wants to leave everyone with this message.
How would you like it if someone were to bully you? How would that make you feel?
Pack the Bus registration underway for children in need of school supplies. You can register to receive supplies online on the Faith Family Church website at myfcc.com/packthebus. Supplies will also be given Saturday, August 5th at the Faith Family location on Mockingbird. For questions about registration, stop by Faith Family Church Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to noon or contact Stephanie Kadingo at 361-573-2484.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Yep, the heat is on, and it's going to be a while that it's going to hang with us. Right now, we're about 93. Your high today was actually 99, right there about 3 o'clock. You might have felt it. Temperatures hovering near 100 for 2 weeks. It's an easy forecast. But we'll be talking about how to beat the heat coming up in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. These are the high temperatures that were observed around the region today, and I wish I could tell you a better story, but this is what we're going to be looking at for quite some time. Not only us, it's pretty much half of the country. 99 for us, 95 down in Lavaca, 102 in Beeville, and 102 in Gonzales as well. Now for us, because we're closer to the coast, our temperatures get moderated a little bit by the amount of water vapor or humidity in the air. So that's why we're in the upper 90s. But just past us, where it's drier, wow, it's going to be over 100 degrees for most of the week. And places like Dallas will be up to about 105. All of West Texas, 105, all the way out to even in the California deserts, where they'll be at record-breaking temperatures. We talked about this a couple of days ago, and it's just for talking purposes. Death Valley, California, which is the hottest place because it's 200 feet below sea level, and of course it's in a desert, could very likely hit 130 degrees this weekend. Yeah. Now, they're already, the forecast is for 129. So that's the forecast. So it might go over that number. And this is all part of this impressive, if not scary looking heat wave that's going to be affecting much of the country. There's high temperatures for the area tomorrow as we will continue at or about 100 degrees. Now a cloud or two drifting down to the area, but high pressure is basically spinning everything around it. So nothing is really going to be popping here. Out in West Texas, they were getting, or not West Texas, the western southwest, they're getting, this is what they call the monsoon season during the afternoon hours. Moisture generally comes up from the south and gives them some thunder showers, but even that is going to get suppressed down. So we're looking at dangerous heat for quite some time, possibly the 2-week period, because here's July 19th through the 25th, and you can see how Texas continues under the heat dome, much of the southwest, whereas it's in the southwest now, it's going to be centering over us as well. So there's not a lot of hope of anything changes. That big old ridge of high pressure is going to be sinking the air over much of the southwest and our region, and that's just the way it's going to be for quite some time. So we need to learn how to deal with the heat as best you can. The only thing I can think of is if you're working outdoors strenuously, you know, go in and take a couple showers during the day and just cool you down. That's going to be important. We have one little system trying to organize out here, a tropical system, but it's going to go eastward, so not a concern as far as we are looking at it. In fact, the whole season sort of slowed down. But remember, the water temperature is extremely warm. In fact, Gulf waters are already in the 90s. Much of the Atlantic is in the 90s. And so once the conditions change, it's going to boil up and the season will get active again. Have another one. This is a hurricane that will likely develop and will roll westbound. So no major problems as far as we or even western Mexico is concerned. Well, here's your forecast for tomorrow in Port Lavaca. Start off at 83 in the morning. A few little morning clouds, but they'll burn off pretty rapidly. They'll get up to 94. As long as the breeze is blowing, it sort of helps out. In Cuero, we're looking for a high of 100. And of course, farther west, we're definitely going to be in the hundreds. So we're going to hover right about there. And beginning over the weekend, we'll start seeing the heat index start to rise as the oppressive heat will continue through most of this week and most of next week as well. That's your 7-day forecast. We want to remind you that we do have this QR code. If you scan that with your phone, you can put Crossroads Today right on your cell phone, and you can get all the latest in news, weather, and sports. Here's Carino.
Thank you, Mac. And now let's go to Gina Perez with your sports.
Thanks, Karina. A football coach up north is being released after an investigation. More on that after the break. At Crossroads, Northwestern University has fired head football coach Pat Fitzgerald after announcing last week that Fitzgerald would be suspended after a hazing report was released. The university has now fired the coach. An investigation began after the 2022 football season, which revealed a pattern of hazing in the university's football program. Fitzgerald has said he was caught off guard by the firing, and a legal expert in hazing says he believes the school should have been more aware. The Victoria Generals are off today and getting their 12th win in a row last night. They beat the Baton Rouge Rougarou 5-2 behind a great outing from pitcher Jack Hagan. Catcher Levi Castaneja got the scoring started with his bomb in his first one of the summer, a 3-run shot to make it 3-0 Generals. He also caught a runner stealing as well. The Generals only had 6 hits on the night, but they executed when they needed to most. The Generals riding high, and they are sure not to get too cocky and stay focused on the ultimate goal.
Like, we have runners on base and we need a hit, we're gonna get that hit, or we're just gonna bunt. We're gonna bunt them in, sacrifice bunt, sacrifice pop fly, whatever. Whatever we do, we're gonna get it done.
We feel great about our team. Try not to think about it, move forward, look ahead. What's done is done, and you know, the new pieces are coming in, fitting in well, you know, and everything's kind of gelling. You don't want to mess up too much because we got them here for a reason. They're good ball players. The last thing we want to do is overcoach them and not let them do what got them here.
The Generals are off today, but hopefully they will not cool off. The Generals will take on the Brazos Valley Bombers on Wednesday and looking for number 13 in a row. No one knows if this win streak is the most in a row the Generals has ever had in its history, so let's just see how far they can take this thing. In other news, Victoria former General infielder Trey Richardson was selected in the 2023 MLB draft in the 15th round with the 455th overall pick by the St. Louis Cardinals. The 2023 MLB Home Run Derby is in the books and a new champion has been crowned. The title would go to a family member of a former home run champion in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jay was close to winning the trophy in 2019 before falling to New York Mets star Pete Alonso. In the final round, Vladimir needed 25 bombs to clinch the title, and he did it. In total, the son of a Hall of Famer hit a total of 72 home runs in 3 rounds to bring home the title. Lastly, the Victoria Gators athletes are giving back to the community as they partnered with Christ Kitchen in Victoria. The athletes helped prep and serve nearly 300 meals, as well as clean the inside and outside of the complex, tables and bathrooms. The Gators are a new sports league for students that are homeschooled or in private schools. Well, that's your sports. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Gina. We're going to be back in a moment. A music festival like you've never seen or heard before. This one taking place underwater. A unique concert in the Florida Keys highlighted reef protection Saturday. This is the 39th annual Lower Keys Underwater Music Festival. Music broadcast by a local radio station was piped underwater via speakers beneath boats that were positioned above the reef. Several hundred divers listened to the Scuba Sea soundtrack as they explored Lewis Keys' colorful realm of tropical fish, coral formations, and other marine life. The festival teaches people about eco-conscious practices and ways to protect the ecosystem. Look at her go. Ooh, she's feeling that song.
Man, where's Little Mermaid when you need her?
She's out. She's out.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I guess
they're really feeling it. Oh, she's
singing vocals.
What do you think she's singing? Under the sea.
Under the sea.
Something
There
like
you
that.
go.
You know, we're kind of, it's sad for us, our waters aren't as clear, so we don't appreciate reefs as much. But
I know.
man, you go off the coast of Florida, in Key West, and there's fish everywhere. So protecting the reefs is
Protecting the reefs is very important.
Very
But what's
important.
also very important is that sunscreen, that staying in shaded area.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to do everything we did last month to beat the heat, because we are in another heat wave. I'm calling it heat wave number 2. This is going to last about 2 weeks. You're thinking, well, how can you go out, 10 days? Well, we are looking at that big old bubble of high pressure, and that is not going to be moving. So, yes, near 100. And this weekend, we're looking at heat indexes somewhere about 115, maybe 120. So I would go to the movies, because I think Indiana Jones is premiering or something like that.
Alrighty.
Go watch a movie.
Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 6. Remember, we'll be here back tonight on 25 News Now at 10. We will hope you'll join us then.